All right, in theory, we are live. Strangely, that gives me little mini heart palpitations. We're not even on the right page of the tablet, but that's just how we roll in today. Let's see if I can get things to work around the way that I want. You know what? Let's see if I just, now you get all my. So, have you ever thought, hey, I have this really cool idea, I should do it, and then you talk yourself out of it 600 times? And so finally you decide just to do it no matter what. And here you are, 30 minutes late. You can't see it, but I am actually sitting in cleaning wipes because something spilled and has been sitting here for a week. Best laid plans. Well, that's why we have a planner, right? So, the reason I'm laughing is because I had posted yesterday that I was going to jump on at 1 o'clock today, and I was like, listen, I'm going to make 1 o'clock no matter what happens. And then the really sweet aunt called and wanted to do Christmas, and there was no getting out of there on time. And all I could think is that I had some really cool opportunities happen in 2023, and I lost them because I was late. I can guarantee I lost them because I was late. And here I am being late again. If you've ever been late before, would you just drop a little heart below? And especially like if you've lost an opportunity because of it, just so that I don't, feel completely alone, that'd be great. So one of the things I'm working on this year is showing up. I don't look the best. I'm, again, sitting in things that I would rather not describe. My chair is clean. My feet just are sitting in sticky things. And for all of my texture people out there that know that that is just hard, we're going to do it because we can do hard things here. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a planner that I created a little while ago. I greatly appreciate that, Shelby. Sorry, I'm just laughing because once you've had a conversation about texture things, like you go back through all of the conversation. So, I created this planner actually a couple of years ago because I was tired of getting the planners in all of the stores that are really pretty, but they don't do the things my brain needs. So they don't work on work life, they don't work on home life, and it's all about hustle culture, which I'm kind of here for. Listen, I've been working since I was 15. I actually got paid for my first gig starting consistently at like 12. So like, I like working. But if that's the only thing I'm going to do in my life, then I'm going to burn out and I'm not going to serve anybody else. And ultimately, that is actually what I really want to do. I want to be able to know that the things that I create and the things that I do are actually going to serve other people. So I've spent the last year living in this planner. I've spent the last year with my team living in this planner. The thing that I'm going to actually show you guys, you do not get the addition that my team does because that's the luxury that they get with being with me. But I am super excited to share this year's version. One of the things that I've done is it's really pretty. I've made sure that there are things on there like water and meditation. And this is the one caveat I'm going to tell you with this. I don't expect you to be perfect. I don't expect you to always get every page in there. I don't expect you to always fill it out. I expect that it is something that you consistently can go back to. So I've broken this up. We have a yearly planner and we have a monthly planner so that you know for the year you have something set up. Today's New Year's. And I think that it's one of the greatest gifts we have is to be able to feel like we can start with a fresh year and feel like we can start over no matter what dumpster fire we've been living through. Now, I know that's not a reality, but I like to think for a day, just for a day, that it might be. So, if you're ready for that, I would love some more hearts just to feel like I'm talking in a room full of people, not sitting in my own personal dumpster fire at the moment. All right, let me get this plugged in. Maybe I'll even turn on a light. And we'll start this on the beginning page. Oh, actually, you know what? We're going to show this where you can see the whole thing at one time, and then I will show you how I transfer it over. That's a little exhausting, but here we go. You know, they always say the one thing that you have to have is a ring light, and I'm about to blind myself. Watch. Nope, we're just going to deal with that. All right, so what we have happening here is a whole set of pages. You will notice that there's much colors across the top and colors across the side. The colors across the top are going to be the days of the month, and then the colors that go down the side are going to get you between each of the quarters. And you'll notice that we're going to start at the very beginning, talking about our favorite subject, ourselves. I say that with all jokes because, to be honest, it was the hardest part. Where do I want to go? I don't know. I'm just surviving. Where do I want to be 5 years from 10 years from now? I don't know. Anything's better than where I am. When I started this journey of trying to climb my way out of hell and all of the things that I had unintentionally created for myself, I didn't know that I could own what I do. I didn't know that I could be a part of really cool teams. I didn't know that I was autistic as fuck. I didn't know any of those things. So part of the reason I want you to start at the very front of this book with yourself, so if you're doing this with me and you don't have this booklet, totally okay. I just want you to follow along, and I do want to make sure that your first page is about you. Because while you may not know some things about you, you do know quite a few things. And then we're going to go in. I am all about the horoscopes and the tarots. My team is super about the tarot readings, so I'm not super gifted in it, but I do plan on hitting them up and being able to see a little bit more about where I'm going this year and leaning into it. And fun fact, my wife did a tarot reading when she met me to find out if she was supposed to be with me. And I feel like that's worked out in my favor, so we're going to put that in here. I will not be teaching you anything about horoscopes or tarot readings. I just want you to have a place that you can go back and get anchored for when that dumpster fire happens. Listen, each year isn't going to get better. It's not your best year yet. Like, that's not what I'm going to teach or preach in any way, shape, or form. And what I'm going to tell you is that this yearly planner is going to be something for you to hold on to make sure that you have a place to go back when it feels like that's happening. It's like a future letter to yourself from the best space possible. And then we have the life wheel. A good friend of mine showed me that, and I loved being able to have something that gets me to right size the wheel. So I love the idea that if any of these things are super low, that you're going to be flat and you're just going to feel like you're missing something. Fulfillment comes in a lot of different ways, and I think this life wheel can really help you create that. Now, I did not create the life wheel. I have tweaked this. This is definitely something that it has flowed down the pipelines to me. You will notice that there is an empty spot on one side, and that is because family is on the other side of it. And I truly do not believe, and I want you to hold through this whole sentence with me, because I want to disturb a lot of people, either from what I just said or what I'm about to say. Family is going to be the most important thing that you can have, and you cannot put anything on the other side of that to balance it. And when I say family, I mean who you've created as your family. So whether that is flesh and blood for you, and for some people it is, or whether it's the people that you have put in your life that have been there for you from the beginning when you didn't know who you were, those people, there's never going to be anything on the other side of them. So you will notice that there's not anything in that little area, and yes, that was on purpose. Oh, that's some team things, so just ignore that little thing on the left-hand side. And then legacy and vision. So we're going to go through the 4 different areas of who you are: self, health, pro, and then finances. So being able to showcase, breaking down the different bits and pieces of you. We'll go through and break that down even further. And then we're going to talk a little bit about your calendar year. And then we're going to break that down even further. I don't know if you noticed that we're really taking the time to get super detailed and super small in your year. And then we're going to talk about some of the hard stuff. We're going to talk about budgets and finances and really getting clear on where you want to be financially. As someone who, I did not have healthy role models for finances. I grew up in a world where finances were not talked about, but yet I watched wealthy people, rich people, what I thought was wealthy, and I didn't understand it. So this is a system that I've had to utilize so that I could get all of the brain weasels out of my head to be able to make small changes. So we'll dive into that a little bit more. And there are just a couple different ways to do it. And then we'll talk about how we break down the quarterly and those things even more. You'll notice in the monthly that we have the dates, so you can write in all the stuff that you're going to do. And at the bottom, we have who you are in each of those signs. So there's no descriptions, but if you're Aquarius, it has what those dates are. Pisces, rep, in there. March is Aries, and then a nice little debrief. And I'm going to scroll kind of quickly because these are all of the months. Fun little fact, how did I pick the colors for the months? Well, I have two teammates that made blankets based on the colors of temperatures, because apparently that's a thing, and I thought it was brilliant, so I went and looked at the color shading and made it relative to that. And then we have one of my favorite neurospicy things in the world, which is called verbiage and scripts. If you have ever struggled with what to say to people when, I would love just exclamation points below. I'll just wait, because either you're all of those people or it's just me and I'm the only one that feels awkward always, forever, and never knows if what I'm saying is going to be the right thing or how, and can I just climb under the table now? Well, if my desk wasn't sticky, I might climb under the table. Anyway, so this page is going to be all about boundaries, scripts, verbiage, and how to talk to clients. Oh, did I mention that these yearly planners were all made for service providers? So whether you're a tattoo artist or an esty or a nail artist or a lash artist or whatever, these are made for you. And then we're going to talk a little bit about your target avatar and how to build that out and what that means for you on social media. We're going to create a social media plan for the year. Notice I said for the year, so you're not getting nitty gritty, you're not getting stuck in that place, right? And then at the very bottom, we're going to talk about how did it work out for you. And at the very, very bottom, you got an accidental preview of what's coming. We're just going to not talk about that, and we're just going to back it up. All right, so that is your preview. We are going to go ahead and just export this real quick so that I can actually show you how to write and fill it out. Now today I'm going to do a very, very quick version of it. What I would love is, as we are exporting this, drop in the comments for me. What do you struggle the most with when it comes to a planner or setting goals? Either one. Is it using a planner? Is it finding a planner? What part do you struggle with? And then also, what part of setting goals do you struggle with? I will say for me, I always got stuck with setting tasks instead of goals, and that was always super hard. Let's see if I can actually turn this guy this way. I love that you guys are just kind of chilling with me as I figure out the stuff and the things. Like I said, sometimes it's more important just to show up and figure out what's going on, and then most of life is editable later. I fully believe in auditing yourself as you go. The more you audit, the more accountability you will take, and the more that you can just run, because you will fuck up. It is just part of what we do. All right, so page 1. I'm using GoodNotes on an iPad. What I will say is that if you have downloaded this and you're using Android, XODO is an excellent option. And all of these little tabs are linkable. So if I click January, it's going to take me to January. If I click my little sunshine on the side, it's going to take me to my horoscope. If I click my little money guy, it's going to take me to my budget. So this little tab system is going to take me everywhere I need to go on my pages. Where do I want to start? I want to start at the beginning. So we're going to go to this and then go back a couple pages. So on our first page, we've got places we can put photos, places that we can put favorite colors, fun facts. I try to go so simple so that as you're walking into living into your new year, living into 2024, you're able to pull out the things that are super, super easy. I know that as a hairdresser, so I was a stylist first, and then the first spa that I worked at, I was actually not allowed to do hair. I'm still not really sure how I was allowed to do peels and pedicures, but I wasn't allowed to do hair color in the beginning, but that's a whole nother thing. And then I went to this class a couple of years in, and they started talking about how setting up your day and planning your day really allowed you to grow where you were going. It was almost like you could write the future, so to speak. So when we're going to talk about drawing a little bit about yourself, don't overthink this. Oftentimes when we talk about ourselves, we're going to want to think about all of the, like, I showed up late and I'm sitting in sticky ass shit and I'm not dressed up like a hairdresser should be, and like I have a lot of the little voices too. It's not that I have less brain weasels than you, it is just simply that I'm going to push through them, and I'm really good at just sharing them aloud because I hope that that helps somebody somewhere. So right now I'm going to put a smiley face because I got to enjoy some of my family, which, there we go. There's my smiley face. Now, if I were truly taking some time to do this, I might, got a unicorn, because I'm very sparkly and a little stabby sometimes. I do want to spend a little bit more time in the next year celebrating myself and believing in myself. So I might take some time tonight while I'm sitting down just to be able to scavenge Pinterest and Google and just copying and pasting some of these photos to be able to figure out who it is that I am in this moment, and then who do I need to become. You know what would be really good for me to put on here? So if you're just joining, I started hella late and I was giggling to myself because one of the things that I recognize is that I've lost opportunities this year due to being late, and one of the things that I need to be working on is, well, nobody wants to give me an on. You know what? We'll just draw it. So who do I need to become? I need to become prompt. And honestly, I would say I probably need to be organized. Accountability, I think I've got pretty well unlocked. I'm trying to think of some other words that I might need to work on, but that's for me to sit down with myself. I don't need to drag you guys down with that. So I'm going to look up my horoscope. I have been looking at it just in case nobody's been looking at horoscopes yet. I will definitely say that later on today I will share my stories. I have some favorite people that I love to watch for horoscopes. They trend between horoscopes and tarots, and I think they're amazing, so I will share them in my stories later. But one of the things that I have been watching is, like, if you feel like 2023 was like, what is happening? I promise you this next year is going to feel different. You're going to feel like you're able to feel the game change because you put in all the work. I actually feel like I've been really quiet for the last year, and I am hoping that this next year I'm able to show up a little differently. Hence the reason I made sure I showed up today. If you do not do tarot readings, find someone who does. And all you have to do is look up on your social media, and I bet you found somebody. If you don't, hit me up and I can direct you to a couple of people that are phenomenal. And if they won't do it for you, I can guarantee they can connect you to someone who can. All right, so that's our horoscopes and tarot readings. Life wheel. So on the left-hand side, we talk about vacation and personal growth, me time, relationship, spirituality, money, family, career, mental health, friends, and physical health. I'm just curious, have you ever thought you knew what a word was? You've used it in a sentence, you've been using it in a sentence forever, and then you looked it up and you're like, that is not what I thought that word meant. Yeah, spirituality was the one for me. Growing up in a super religious family and a super Catholic family, I will definitely say that trying to process the difference between the two, and this is not a conversation I'm opening for all of us, but just knowing that it is two different things, I've put all the descriptions on the left. So if you're following along and you are doing this planner with me, what I would say is just sketch a quick wheel. So you don't necessarily need to fill in the numbers like I have them. You can just simply put a bunch of spokes out like so. And like I said earlier, family is by itself for all of its other reasons. And I love that it auto puts that line in. P.S. I do draw in my off time, and I definitely was sitting with a piece of paper waiting for it to correct itself. Just in case you're wondering, paper doesn't do that yet. And so I just want you to take a second and circle which one you really want to focus on for the year. So for me this year, I'm just really going to focus on this one. I really did a lot in vacation this last year. I'm going to circle career, not mine, but that's a story for a different day. And then you're going to go in and you're just going to, if you're drawing this on your own, I'm going to have you just notch where you are currently. So you might say, currently in my career path, I feel like I'm a 3, and you might X that you want to be closer to an 8. And in my relationship, I might feel like I'm a 6, but I want to really be at a 9. Part of the reason we use the life wheel like this is it's a case of being able to say, where do you want to go next, not what you're doing incorrectly. I'm going to repeat that again. Where do you want to go next, and not what you're doing incorrectly. It's this thing that allows you to say, okay, if I'm going to grow 3 levels in my relationship, I know that I can look at those things and find the tools to help me do that, rather than just saying, oh, I want to make my relationship better, and then at 2025, I couldn't tell you how I did that. So I love this life wheel. I'm going to recommend that you actually do this every quarter. I only have it in the yearly planner once because for some people, just having that one navigational beacon is what works for them. One of the reasons I love GoodNotes is that I'm able to just open it and click my little button down here, and I can just duplicate it, and I can do it again later if I so want. So that was my duplicate. All right, legacy and vision. I would say just take a piece of paper and you're just going to put a 4 on it, and you're going to put self in one corner, pro in the other corner, health in the corner, and then finances. A lot of people really struggle with self. It's like professional, we all know where we need to go and what we need to do. Health, we've got this idea of what mental and physical things we want to do, but like, what is self? Because we've pulled out the health part of it. What I will say is that I think we have gotten so stuck on productivity as being part of who we are that mental health, physical health, and professionalism is tucked into that. So I would definitely say taking a step back and looking at self from a place of what is it that you want? So for example, I've spent a lot of years looking at healing my inner child. Short story, very neglected, and did not live a lot of the childhood things that other people got. So you can look at my posts, and I would even refer to the fact that, like, yes, I'm 38 and I say nuggies. You're welcome, and I love them. But for this next year, I'm really looking at what is it that I need to heal within being the teenage version of me. What is it that I need to go back to? Now, I probably don't need to go back to throwing hands before questions. That might get me in trouble again. But what are some of the other parts of me that I miss or that I want to understand? And I might put that in the self area. Whereas my mental health might look more like there's certain books I want to read, or reaching out to a therapist, or getting into a certain kind of training again, or finding a processor. If you're curious what a processor is, please reach out to me and I'll help you dig into that farther. And then with finances, we're going into something that's saving, self, and serving. so that you're able to figure out in which order to do them. I highly recommend Profit First. They do actually make one for people. The original Profit First was for businesses, but now they've made one for just the rest of us that want to be able to get our life back in order. And it's an audiobook, there's YouTubes, there's everything. I highly recommend just jumping into that part of it. So take this part and sit with it for a while, process it. This yearly planner is something that, whether you use mine or whether you're creating your own from this video, I really don't care. But I'm hoping it's giving you the idea of someone holding your hand and being able to walk you through and taking step by step to be able to chew on the life you want to build and a place to come back to. If you want to know more, I hope that you reach out and just shoot me a message that says more, or drop a comment below that says more, and I will start shooting you the information to be able to find those things. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for being a part of it. Yeah, there's a lot more on here, but it's New Year's Eve, and I think you should get started with what we've already done. Oh, and don't forget to go live a little.